I'm so glad that you're here. Welcome back to my channel. This is Sabrina. I asked you guys, I think 2 weeks ago, if you wanted to see Storyline Chapters Project Life, and the vote was overwhelmingly yes. So here we go. Project Life on Fridays in Storyline Chapters format. I'll also have a bonus video later this afternoon with a regular Project Life 6x12 spread. So I will have that for you later. But this, like I said, is 2020. And what I'm gonna do, this is the start of summer and it's gonna go through August. I believe I mapped it all out, or I'm going to map it all out, but I figured it will last through August. It'll probably get really chunky, but that's okay. So I'm gonna make a title page here, just stamping some different sentiments, and I'll put June and then move on to the first page. I have already glued down all the pictures for this first spread, and what I did is I used the Ali Edwards Stories by the Month color scheme, and I just made little blocks on the side and over here to frame in the photo. Also cut out a title. I did also make some sticker phrases with clear sticker paper. What I'm gonna add to this layout is a insert with all the journaling, and I have a few die cuts that I cut out on my Cameo. I'm gonna add those and then maybe one more photo. And that will wrap up this spread right here. And that should come together pretty quick. So this is week 23. I do need to add that somewhere. The next page is going to be week 24, and I'll use some digitals from Studio Calico. I mixed in Studio Calico a while back. I'll link this video in the eye. This was a project I did for Colorcast Designs and decided to use Studio Calico. I thought it would be fun. Also threw in some of my mixed media because I had done this page for Everyday Explorers, and I included a ton of my mixed media. So I'll do Studio Calico for week 24, and then I'm gonna do a tie-dye page here with a big flip up and also a beach page with an insert. So everything should come together pretty quick. That's why I'm doing several pages in this video, and that will get me started on June Project Life for 2020, and I hope you guys are excited. All right, I am going to speed things up and put all these pages together. Hope you enjoy. All right, here we go. I'm excited to put these pages together. Erasing my markings that said, you know, this is the summer storyline chapters. Took a 6 transparency, stapled it twice, and also grabbed a Colorcast Designs June piece. Now I will take a bunch of stamp sets from Studio Calico and Ali Edwards and stamp all over the place. I will do the same thing for July and August as a opening page. I think I did something similar in a summer class that I taught for big picture classes where you document summer. I just love the idea of using stamps in one ink color and lots of different phrases to represent the season and kind of be a almost chapter opening. So I stamp phrases like adventure, let's do this, the joys of June, a cloud, a dragonfly, a sun, and just lots of great phrases to kind of kick off this section in my project life. And like I said, random, sometimes messy, doesn't matter. But once I get all these phrases done, it's gonna look great. And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't matter if it's messy or not. So the next page that I'm going to work on is the start of June, week 23. And I think I got all the way to the end of making these and still forgot to write the week. I am just horrible at writing the week, but I will do that before I forget. So for the start of this little insert, I'm gonna fold it over. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I use scratch paper all the time. Leave a comment in the comment section if you do the same thing. So this was a scratch piece of paper, and that's what I printed my journaling on. Gonna go ahead and cover, you know, the photos that were the part of the scratch paper. That way it's a little sturdier. Then I'll just trim off whatever, is the excess. Gonna put some adhesive down on the flap, and then take that flap and tuck it into the 3 photos on the left-hand side. And that way it will kind of line up with the squares. Now that's the intent, but when I lay this down, it gets all bowed or warped or something. It's like it looked like it was laying flat and it was adhered correctly, but it was kind of bowing. So I'm gonna not mess with it too much more, and I will just put down some clear stickers, more outside, less inside, celebrate sunshine, and summer stories. I am also going to add 2 photos to the back. One of my daughter making the bread. I think everybody was doing that in 2020. A photo of my son working on an activity, another clear sticker. I probably should have printed a 3rd photo, and maybe I will, maybe I won't. But either way, this page is finished, and I'm going to move on to the next page, which is week 24, where I use the Studio Calico digitals. Now, my printer has been deciding that it's going to shrink what I print. So these strips that I made from a 4x6 card with the different months on it, it gets a little wonky, more so on the right-hand side, because I figured out on the left side, I don't need the extra piece, the little sliver of a piece over on the far left, because I'm going to layer some journaling cards. So that kind of saved me right there. But then on the right side, like I said, I'm gonna have to figure out how to cover the wonky piece. So I layer on a journaling card and then a shrunken down journaling card that says summer bucket list. Also cut out with my Cameo a green smiley face, found some really old cork pieces, and I will use those as well. All these cards right here, all the journaling cards, I guess I should say that from the beginning, but all the journaling cards are shrunk down. I believe it's like 2.5 by 3.5, but I picked the blues and the greens and the blacks, and kind of just 3 photos to represent that week. I could have gotten more complicated, but I'm really just aiming to get some stories documented from this summer and for Project Life. So I'm not aiming for everything, I'm aiming for something. So something is better than nothing, right? And I just put the 2 pieces down on the right-hand side to kind of like layer them and make it look like one piece. Gonna add another cork little happy face to every summer has a story. And this is where I fix the kind of weird looking paper. At least to me, it fixed it. It was just some washi, but it's actually a really great visual element because I did feel like I needed something up by the trampoline photo. And I found larger cork pieces and put a happy love heart one up there. Love how the Studio Calico one turned out. It was the least painful out of all of these. It just felt like there was a lot of hiccups. And as you can see, this was a scratch piece of paper too. I think it was one of my son's study guides. And so what I did is I printed out the paint splatters that I extracted in Photoshop Elements from the Delight story kit. It was in one of the journaling cards. I kind of remember off the top of my head what colors are in what story kits, and I knew that Delight had some of the bright colors that I wanted, and I could change some things to purple since my kids were dyeing t-shirts, and I could pull some of the purple from their project. So my original intent for this title was to use my Cameo, but I was running short on time and patience. So like I said, it's better done than, perfect. So I'm just going to fussy cut out the title, kind of a straight block for afternoon, and then Delight, I followed the shape. I'll cut off the bottom of the G because it's hanging off the page, and also separated the I. This will flip up and you can see some more photos of my kits. And funny story, when we got done with these shirts, one of them, well, since we used my husband's shirts, one of them wound up looking like a brassiere. And my kids wound up having Dad wear it for Father's Day. It was quite hilarious. He looked like a merman, or maybe just a mermaid, but it was a really fun time making these shirts, and we should do it again sometime, maybe this coming summer. Last page is a beach trip, and I am again using an insert. I will put it right over the top of the photo of my son. I'm going to put some red line tape down so that way I know it's going to stick and not move. And it wasn't wonky and bowed like the last insert, so that's a good thing. So I have a bunch of tiny photos. Again, I think these photos are also 2.5 by 3.5. So I have 2 on the front, and then I am gonna add another one of my husband and I, and then layer in a sun die cut, and then the yes. I believe the suns and the yes, and then I have 2 little boxes that say loving. Those are all from the Story Kit Lite. It's probably a Story Kit that I have used the most. I have used it over and over again. It's such a great, versatile kit. Picked, like I said, 2 boxes just to journal, just a quick little note, and added some more photos on the back. I have some sandcastle photos, and then a photo of my daughter running up to me, and then my son holding some treasures. I really should collect all the photos of my son showing me his treasures, because I take that type of photo all the time. And it would be a fun collection of, photos to see. All right, so this comes the decorating part, and this part got a little kooky, I guess. I was trying to incorporate so many of the colors from Yes and also the rainbow piece that I decided to use a dot that was like a bright blue. I don't think it was necessary, but it added the movement that I wanted, and it incorporated more of the colors. So I left it, I didn't rip anything up, and I'm just gonna keep going. Added a loving across, all the way across in the bright orange color, which I liked. And on the inside of the insert, I put good stuff, and then counting all the good stuff down on the bottom left. Just realized that I did 2 stamps with good stuff, but you know what? Oh well, that's okay. I did make a weird cluster of dots down by loving on the right-hand corner. I am going to go ahead and fix that by putting weekend adventures. I just couldn't do that right there. I just couldn't handle that weird cluster, so I'm going to fix it. Also stamped good stuff again and cut that out because it got stamped kind of on the crease of the flap. So I'm going to fix that. And that will be close to wrapping up this spread. I just need to add some journaling and then check everything to make sure I got everything the way I want it. Because I did notice that on the first page, Hello Summer, I had used my Cameo to cut out the numbers, and so I'm going to go ahead and put those numbers on. The only reason I stay away from chipboard in Storyline chapters is because of how chunky it can get, so just cutting it out on Cameo using paper works a lot better. So there you go. I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing all these pages come together, the start of Project Life 2020, June. Get started. I'm so excited, and like I said, hope you enjoyed. I'd love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you are new to my channel. All right, have a great day. Bye.